Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. I'm in a different room today so I can spy the mailman so I know when my package comes, because I don't know how the postal service is where you are, but over here, I don't know, it's like, if it comes from UPS, it's great. If it comes from the postal service, it depends on who's delivering it that day. Some people do a really good job, but a lot of the people that we get, they just stick it anywhere. So like be outside, or outside the gate, or maybe right outside the garage door, so you could run it over when you pull out, or something weird like that. So I like seeing where the package ends up going, and sometimes they actually throw it over the fence. Not like you had a camera or something in there. I mean, really, you're throwing people's stuff over the... I don't know, they're weird. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about the Fenix E18R. This is another little light. It's a kind of a weird form factor. It's really small, really wide, and it has that magnetic USB charging port there. Hopefully the video quality is not too awful. This camera's not really designed for inside, so, plus it's a kind of cloudy day. But yeah, good magnetic charging port there. Very beautiful looking lens on this. I almost said reflector, but I don't think this has a reflector. I think this is a TIR lens, but it has that not quite a honeycomb look, but it's somewhat similar. It acts kind of like a diffuser, and you'll see in the beam shots later on in the video that it's got a lot of spill. I mean, this light, it's almost 180 degrees. That's kind of what the beam is. It's just whoosh. And it's a wonderful thing, because I could go outside with this when I'm letting the dog out or something, and I can turn it on and it lights up the entire backyard, even what's right at my feet. And small, lightweight, so when I'm on my day off, like I am now, in my pajamas, like I am now, I don't really want to carry a big, heavy flashlight with me. I really like to have something small. So this is small, lightweight, and it's got some serious output for a light of its size. And this isn't on full batteries. I've been using this for a while now. Some lights do stay at or above what they're rated for most of their runtime, but most lights don't, and this is one of those lights. It will be 700 lumens, but only for a short period of time, then it'll drop down. But even when it drops down, and even when the batteries aren't full, that's still a lot of... I mean, this light's barely over 2 inches. Oh, I think it dropped down. I think I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, it's dropping down, but still, if you look at the mode it dropped down to, that's still a lot of light for a light of this size. This thing's barely over 2 inches long. If I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, I think it's around 2¼ inches, maybe a hair under or over 2¼ inches. I think it's a tiny bit less than 2¼ inches. And, nice metal side switch. It does have a little battery indicator. As you can see, it's not quite full, but it's got enough. So a quick tap on the power switch here shows the battery indication here, the battery level indicator. So now it's not 100%, but it still has enough battery life left in it. If you do a quick double tap when the light's off, it will go into a lockout mode. So try to press and hold it, turn it on, and it won't turn on because it's locked out. So that's a nice feature, because I noticed with this light, it's very easy to accidentally hit that button. I've noticed it. I've had there's been a lot of times where I accidentally hit the button when I'm getting it out of my pocket or something like that. And I don't really have that with other lights, so it's nice to have a lockout mode. Of course, when the light's off and it's locked out, just another quick double tap will bring it out of the lockout mode. So, it's... Oh, there we go. There's a strobe. Sorry about that. But it's a very easy light to use. I believe you could also lock it out by just doing a little bit of a quarter turn on the tail cap. We'll try that. Sure enough, that works as well with most lights. You can do that. Just turn it counterclockwise a little bit, and it basically breaks the connection from the battery. Tighten it up all the way, and there you go. That might even be better than the actual lockout mode. Although the one advantage with the lockout mode is let's say you're someone that's very forgetful, you unscrew it just a little bit, and then you're like, oh no, my light's broken, or oh no, the battery's dead, and it isn't, so it might trick you a little bit, so that might be a reason to use the lockout mode. Another thing you could do with this light is you can rotate the tail cap switch here, or not tail cap switch, geez, not thinking straight today. The pocket clip, totally different part of the light. My brain's gone because I don't know, I'm tired. It's one of those days, and I looked at my schedule, and it's gonna be a rough 2 weeks, so yeah. But there you go, you can spin the pocket clip over so it blocks the button completely, so that's yet another way to lock out this light. You have different options. It's very easy to spin this pocket clip too. You do have a little lanyard attachment over here, which is super tiny, so maybe the camera doesn't see it, but it's right there. Nice magnetic tail cap, so you can stick it onto the hood of the car if needed. I've stuck it on the fridge before. It doesn't slide around, it stays there, which is a good sign because some lights don't. I've seen some lights where the magnet's like barely strong enough to hold the light, but it slides. I've seen other ones where you could stick them like this and it's fine, but if you put them at an angle, it falls off. So this one stays there like it should. But another cool little feature, you can clip this to the brim of a hat and use it that way. And that's about it. It's a pretty bare bones light. Of course, with a light of this size, that super duper high mode doesn't last as long as larger lights. But the cool thing is you could clip it to a hat. You can stick it on a car, and the other beautiful thing about this is if you're wearing jeans, you know, that little key pocket, well, this fits inside the key pocket all the way, and it's a very deep carry pocket clip. You see right there. It's only like the tiny part of the bezel that sticks out. It just barely sticks out of the pocket, so it's a very deep pocket clip. But there it is, simple. Press and hold from off to turn it on. Always starts in the lowest mode. There is no mode memory on this light. Quickly tapping the power button scrolls through the modes. Of course, as you might expect, another press and hold turns the light off. Now if you press and hold while the light's off and you keep holding down, strobe warning, here it comes. You get that alternating strobe. My camera's set to 24 frames per second right now, so it probably doesn't look quite right, but there it is. Now when the light's on, I believe you can also do that, but it turns off briefly and then goes to strobe. So one thing to note, this isn't a self-defense light. The other thing is most trainers will tell you that strobe and self-defense isn't really something you should bother doing, just use a high mode. But it is good for getting your dog's attention. I know I've had my dog try to eat some things that she shouldn't be eating, which dogs do, it looks like, all the time. And this does a very good job at getting her attention. Of course, I don't aim it at her face, but you know, I aim it in that general direction, and it gets her attention a lot more than just a solid, you know, high output light would. So there it is. There's a quick little overview of this tiny, impressive little light. It does look nice as well, those copper accents. I really am a fan of that. So we'll take it out in the yard, which I did last night. I might have to trim it a little bit so I don't ramble too much in that test, and we'll see how it does. Alright, we're doing some beam shots of the short stubby thing tonight. This is the Fenix E18R. Very compact light, extremely similar to the Baton series from that other company. We all know which company I'm talking about. So this light is barely over 2 inches long and has a quite impressive 750 glorious lumens of output. Low mode is 5 lumens. It always starts in the low mode, which is excellent because it's bright enough to clearly see where you're going. Even outside, I can see where I'm walking. Hopefully the camera's picking it up to some extent, but I can see maybe around, I mean, it barely reaches the back gate. If there were a raccoon in the back gate, I wouldn't be able to see that raccoon, but I can barely make out the gate. But maybe a good, I'd say 16 feet away from me, I can see the grass with a decent amount of detail. Even if there were a small chipmunk sitting there, I would be able to see them. So very useful low output mode on 5 lumens, and of course it'll run for forever, really. Bump it up some more. Now I can clearly see the gate. If there were any animals running along the fence, I'd be able to see them. Nice wide spill. This light has the best spill I've ever seen on a light. And you'll see that even more so when I bump it up to the higher modes. Very good amount of light. More than enough for up front. Bump it up some more. Now we're getting some serious lighting power for a tiny light like this. Lighting up the whole yard. I'll step forward a little bit so you can see the spill. If I hold this light at waist level, I could actually light up what's right at my feet, and I can also clearly see the gate. If I bump it up some more, this is ridiculous. I mean, that's something to take a picture of right there. This light is barely over 2 inches long. I'm able to light up everything. Look at how tiny this light is. Isn't that fantastic? Let me turn it off here. Yeah, that's how small this light is. That's a pretty big deal. So, I really do like that. Of course, it's not something you want to run for too long. Being a smaller light, you could put the highest capacity battery you've got, and this thing won't last as long as a larger light. The other thing is, it will get hot a lot quicker, so it'll have to step down a lot sooner, but it's nice to know that if you need that high output light, if you really need it right then and there, that you have it. I mean, this thing, it gets bright. Very bright. 750 lumens is I mean, sure, it's not as bright as a larger light, but I mean, that's pretty bright. More than enough for most tasks. Alright, so hope you liked it. There is a quick look at the Fenix E18R. Excellent little light. I normally don't like lights of that size to be that bright just for reliability reasons, but it's not pushing the limits by too much, and Fenix does have the best thermal protection circuitry that I've ever seen. So that says a lot. I've been studying lights for several years and own just about every light you can imagine. I have drawers and drawers of lights. Everything from the really cheap stuff all the way up to lights that cost hundreds of dollars a piece. Several different brands. You name it, I've got it. So that says a lot right there. Magnetic charging's pretty simple. Hopefully the camera can kind of see it. I'll try to bring it over just a little bit. Maybe hold on. Technical difficulties, right? Should have done this before I started recording, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. So, this little thing here, green when it's charging, not green when it's charging, red when it's charging, green when it's done. See, I'm not thinking straight today. There's the red color. The nice thing with this is you can plug it into a laptop, which is where I've got it right now. The cord is a little short. It's more than long enough for most things, but it's not the kind of cord where you can plug it into a wall outlet and then have this sitting on your nightstand. My only real complaint about the Fenix magnetic charging system is it's not super readily available. If you lose this cable, sure, you can use standard CR123A batteries that you could buy at like any store, and you can use their micro USB rechargeable batteries as well. But if you want to use this system and you lose this cable, It's pretty hard to find a replacement. I did find a replacement on Amazon, but it doesn't look like it's made by Fenix. It's by another company, so finding a genuine Fenix charger is going to be kind of difficult versus the Olight charger. You could find these everywhere. Amazon, Olight.com, or Olight World, or Olight Store, or whatever. They have different websites, but my point is you can find this thing anywhere, and it's super simple, and it is, you know, the one advantage to this setup is it is much more secure than that one. If this light were to roll, this rolls with it. Stronger magnet, but there are some downsides too. If you get dirt in here, well, might be a little harder to move the button potentially. Whereas the Fenix, you don't have that issue. It's its own separate thing, but it is a little easier to snap off. The advantage with this Fenix one right here, just magnetic chargers in general, is if something hits it, whoosh, comes right off. It's very easy. It just whoop, comes right off. So unlike a micro USB plug or something like that, it won't damage the port or the connector, or damage the connector and have it stuck in the port. So it's a lot safer because it just kind of comes off. The other thing, of course, is you could do it when it's completely dark out. You just boop, and it finds its way. So another cool thing about the Fenix here, it does have a charging light on each side. So it's on here. If I spin it around, it's over there. Very nice touch. It does have a little place for you to grip it, but you know, if you just get at it from the side, it comes off easily anyway. Doesn't seem to be quite as or maybe it's just me, I don't know, I'm probably messing with it too much. But I don't know, there's some chargers where the light is full. It'll say it's full, but then if you unplug it and plug it back in again, then it thinks it's not full anymore and it starts charging it. I don't know if that's what this is doing or if it's just dirty. I know this one doesn't. It doesn't do that at all. This one, if this thing's full, I can plug this in when it's full and it's not even going to charge for a split second. It just knows that it's full. The thing is with this Olight system, this is the exception. I like this one because this is before they went to those stupid proprietary batteries. This runs on a standard, readily available 18650, which I appreciate. Just like this Fenix runs on nice standard batteries. The newer Olights do not. So that alone makes me go more to the Fenix lights. That plus, as nice as the Olights are, I found with most of my Olights and most of my Fenix lights, usually the Fenix lights are just a little nicer. My personal opinion, feel free to call me an idiot in the comments section, because there's a lot of Olight fans out there. There's a lot of Fenix fans too, but I know the Olight fans are going to get a little ticked off by that statement. Anyway, there it is. There's the Fenix E18R, still charging this little thing. I love it. This is a light that I keep at home. It's too pretty to bring to work, and with my thick work gloves and moving around so much, I just feel like I'd lose it. So this light stays at home. This is for when I have a day off, like now, and I'm just around the house. This is for when I need a searchlight, because it's... How much candela did this have? I think this was 78,000 something candela and 2,000 lumens. But different lights for different things. Anyway, I've rambled long enough as it is. Hopefully this video is not too boring. But there it is. There's a look at this cute little light here. I love it. Highly recommend it. It's worked great so far. Just like every other Fenix light I own. I mean, I've never had any issues with them. Of course, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm too small to be sponsored anyway, so I always buy stuff with my hard-earned cash and things that interest me, and this was one of those things, and I'm glad I gave it a shot. Maybe it's the light you're looking for. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you need something that's more of a searchlight. You can feel the... I mean, I could feel the heat on my hand just from that. That's ridiculous. You can light fires with that. But that's all for this one. I'll see you next time.